All right. DayTraderRockStar here, and a review video because I was away for the week. I'm going to go back and just review the past week on the S&P futures. We'll look at the MES, but this will apply to the ES also. And we left off before I actually went on a little vacation with my family. Left off really in a good way of designing and really putting together a super signal that is giving us the best trade opportunities in the market. And this is a combination of certain things that are happening on the chart, stochastics, trend lines, recognizable patterns, and some other things that we add into the stew as we make the thing. So, and that's been working great, especially the quad rotation and the new indicators off the rock bot and using the rock bot in different parameters. And I'm sorry to, it kind of took off in a place where we actually had really great momentum on that. So I wanted to kind of pick that back up. And for me, if I'm out of the markets for any amount of time, I always like to kind of go back and just kind of get a feel for it. It takes about a day or two to get back in tune, to feel the ebb and flow of the market, because Friday we had a big sell-off. And you could actually see it here. Started around 1 o'clock. We started selling off, and it looks like it came down about 60 points. And that's a pretty big reversal, and it left a little mark on a lot of the charts, which I put out on the HBS watch list to the members earlier today. And we kind of discussed the S&P cash chart and what it looks like going forward. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to look back here and pretend I was here during the week and kind of go over some of the setups that I would typically mark off for you and see how they perform. Now, what's great about this is that we have a criteria that's in concrete. It's carved in stone. We're only looking for a few good setups, and those setups have to show up a certain way. And when they do, we'll mark them off, and we'll see what if there's great setups and there's real great setups. When we talk about our divergence setups, I was using a classification of 1 to 3 star divergences, but now that we've really added a quad rotation to the formula, things have really taken off, and the setups are so good that again, why would you take anything other than the most perfect setup? So in some cases you want to just wait for those. In other cases, you drop your percentages down, and your probabilities and profitability levels get pulled down a little if you're not taking the best setups. So it's your choice if you want to take a great setup or you want to take the best setup. That's kind of a loaded question right there, but it is something we have to ask ourselves. Do we want to be really involved in the market and take our shots, or do we want to hold our cards and wait and bet when when we have a great hand? And any type of analogy you want to use to kind of get you to where you're going to go. Futures are open right now. You can see what I'm going to do right now is actually going to go back, and we're also going to mark off the setup. So I was just setting up here before. You'll see this. We're going to set it up as I do it. One of the first, and again, this section is going to be only take these trades. This is the segment of today's video. Only take these trades. And the 60-minute, when I say the 60-minute, I should actually qualify that by saying the 60 stochastic divergence setup. That is a really good setup, and we're going to concentrate on that in a bit. So again, let's start just kind of going back and taking a look. I'm just going to read the map here, and what we're looking for is situation. Lots of times we're looking for that oversold level, that bounce, the pullback, and a higher low being put in. Like here, this one right here was kind of an example. And again, this is a shallow one. This is at the end of the day. There's certain levels that I don't like to trade, especially in the last 15 minutes. But lots of times we'll see a divergence like that, and we'll see a kind of a slight move up, bigger than the move, the standard range we've been in. The thing about a divergence is, when we're in a divergence, typically that divergence is a pivot for the channel or the direction we're in, be it a small one or a big one. It's all relative. So if you're in this small little channel and you have and here it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you come back down to here and you have this divergence right here, and actually you kind of have a double bottom divergence right here, and a higher low, much higher low versus the price. that is the opportunity where you're most likely going to see a change of trend. And your change of trend happens, as you can see, there is a trend. There's this downward channel. So this is the change of trend pivot area. It doesn't go too far. And again, this is a game of, depending on what time frame you're trading at. If you're trading the 1 minute time frame and you're scalping the markets, maybe in a situation like this, going into a Friday evening after it might not give you the movement that you want, or the range that you want, the points, the ticks that you want, but it will most likely give you the direction you want. So you have to adjust that, and that's why I always tell people with the Rockbot, if you're running the Rockbot script on your own machine, it's important to analyze that, and not to say, if the market's been trending higher and you have an 8 to 12 tick first profit target on there, and all of a sudden the market's trending down and you're only getting these small little bounces and they turn over, you're not getting that, those extension or upward moves. So you have to adjust your parameters to take or even short to take the trades to the opposite side. So that's always something I always stress. All right. Now another thing is our quad rotation. Once we fail a quad rotation, you should wait for a full rotation here. You have a little full rotation here. When you get up here, again, this is your kind of your safety net. Your warning shot across the bow is when you get some selling and you have this kind of embedded here and you get this rotation. It's the same exact thing that we look for in a strong market. You have a strong market, the market pulls back quickly under 20, stochastics stay above the 80, and that sets us up and the price stays under the 20. In this case, it's exactly the opposite. So instead of a bull flag, you have a bear flag. You have a bear flag. And this is very simple too. When you have this over, you can't deny, and it gets to the 80 mark, and this is holding under the 20 mark, and this is a small little pullback. Your bear flag has now set up again, and this is a bear flag. So you have to recognize that. I always say, take the bear if it gets above the 20, and you still get this. You wait, and it still qualifies, and it comes down and closes underneath the 20 or on the 20, and you're in that situation. It's okay to pass through it, but once you come back and close underneath it, that's when you take the trade. And then this is how the day ended over here. We got into a nice little divergence here to the upside. So you had these bear flags to the downside, and that's something you have to recognize. Not all quad rotations, and that's another thing that we have it programmed into the Rockbot that you're not going to get. You don't want to get run over where this thing is staying down here, and we're not getting that rotation. You don't want to just get chopped up down in a situation and you keep on saying, quad rotation, quad rotation, quad rotation. No, quad rotation, and it fails, that means something. If it turns into a bear flag and the trend is down, then you continue to look at those trends. All right, just the opposite is going on here. When the big market moving up here throughout the morning, you had this nice little move up. You can see the 60-10 here embedded to the upside, and each pullback here's a great example of that pullback. This is holding above the 80. This is pulling back, and the price is holding above the 20. So this is a beautiful masterclass on bull flags. Bull flag masterclass right here. Bull and bear flag. So that's again that should tell you the strength is there. Fast rotation. This is embedded. When this is embedded, try not to short. Let the market come into a choppy range that you'd like to trade in, and then you're usually in much better shape. As you can see, this whole situation here, a lot of another nice pullback here, holding the 20, pulled back. It's holding above the 80 here. It's a nice bull flag. Same thing, just about here. This is actually a double bottom divergence on a ramp up is really strong. Little things like that happening during the day kind of confirms the trend to the upside. And that was all on Friday. So Friday, crazy day here. Friday we had a nice run up here. It looks like a slight divergence to the downside. And you can see it on the 14.3 and the 40th. And if it happens on the 44, then you really want to, that's really confirmed. That's a tough one because market's taken off, and this was right on borderline on the 20 line, even though it was a visual divergence, meaning that the high here is visually higher than this one, and the price is higher, and this is lower. The fast rotation here, but never got oversold here. Here we actually got, see how it took this one a while, took this, and then finally this one came down, and we're looking for those dotted lines. So right when those dotted lines start to appear on all of them, right there, that's our quad rotation. So there's, you have a quad rotation here. Not much of a divergence. You had a divergence up here. You had a couple bull flags, a nice little divergence there, another bull flag, a bear flag, a bear flag, a bear flag, and a divergence. Not bad. I mean, each one of these are, these are the areas that maybe you might be interested in. And I don't know what the surrounding news was on the day here. I was not part of that in any way other than seeing the results of it today. This is 7:30 in the morning. The market came down here, but it has been kind of flatlined here, flatlined here. This was our first kind of quad rotation right about here, but that's been embedded. And again, when this embedded and this rotates and this is embedded and this closes under, it's a bear flag. I wouldn't just take a quad rotation. I'd wait for divergences when you have this embedded. Wait for a divergence once you see that 60-minute is embedded. And I'm talking about a divergence on the 9-3. We're going back. Same thing here. Very sloppy trade. Oversold. Starting to get oversold here. Not much going on. This is overnight, 6 o'clock in the morning. $3 in the morning. Futures open. European markets open up. And I always say that the European market is not a bad area to trade around. I usually see a divergence show up around that 3 o'clock, 3:30 area. And there was a slight divergence right there. It did rotate back down. Not all the way down to the lows, but enough to maybe, you did have a move up there. That was nice. Here we had a slight divergence here overnight. Not much. Also kind of a quad rotation. So actually, this is actually a good setup. Here's our first super signal, overnight super signal. We have a divergence and a quad rotation. I mean, all four are getting oversold, and then we have the 9-3, 4. It could be the 9-3 and the 14-3, or just be the 9-3, giving us a higher low on that divergence, and that is a super signal. Now, again, that was in the middle of the night, but it did give us the low of the session here. It's actually in a small little, kind of a small little wedge pattern there too, off the VWAP. But not bad. I mean, let's say you got in here and you're just messing around, doing some work overnight. This moved up. Oh, what do I have here? 34 to 44, about 10 points overnight. A few hours, 10-point move there. This is this at 4 o'clock. A lot of things happen here at 4 o'clock with earnings. So there was a lot of earnings. This might have been Apple earnings Thursday. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been, but it looks like it was something pretty big in the market. That was at 4 o'clock. That wouldn't be Apple, but it was something right at 4 o'clock. But it was also a kind of a divergence here off the 60-10 divergence. That's a tough one with the news out. Higher, double bottom, higher low. Now, Thursday, I checked in with you. I don't know if I sent this picture of this. I came in and I screenshotted it. And it was basically, there was a kind of a super signal right here. Quad rotation, divergence right there. And then we had another one here at 9:45, right after the open. The 9:30, 9:45, what we call the 9:50 reversal, is usually a great opportunity too. And then this one was just a regular quad rotation, and that was the low. It looks like it might have even been a 60-10 divergence here, 60-10 divergence. A very shallow one, 2 degrees, if that. But I did check in and I sent out that chart. Not a lot of action overnight. We're not even going to look at that. Let's get to the market here. Now we're going to go into Wednesday. Let's go to Wednesday morning and let's kind of see that the market's selling off here. If we came in here and we see this market selling off, I'm going to have to check the markets here so they don't take off on us. Okay. Market sold off. We had a quad rotation here. This one waited kind of waited to get down there. This one waited. Eventually this one caught down here, there, but then this one got down here, right around here. So we kind of had that quad rotation, kind of have a quad here also. And then we came back here and put in this double bottom, maybe a little divergence there on the 14.4. It was better than nothing at that point, but it didn't give us a lot. I'm actually looking at the market. I'm kind of glad I stepped out of the market here. 6 o'clock. Here's Tuesday. Going out to Tuesday evening, or Tuesday morning. Let's say the market opens up, starts to run up here, get a little extended. It pulls back hard, 10:15, bounces back up. Here we have you had a kind of a little running divergence there, but you can see that whipped back up a little higher. I like these tight channels to see if anything came of that. We'd be watching that channel looking for something to come in here, and there was a slight, lower lows being put in here and higher lows being put in there, but not much. Did I go back? What is today? 7? I think I went. Let me double check my calendar here. Yeah, that's where we left here. I've seen this a lot. The break out of the channel, the pull back to the top of the channel, then the bounce off of it. A lot of sloppiness here overnight, and the trend is down. Nothing going on there. Let's take a look at the Monday. Hmm. One o'clock in the morning. Steep divergence at 1 o'clock in the morning here. Not seeing anything here that triggers. This right here, this candle that dropped out, is a much higher low. It was a divergence. A nice move up off of that. That was 6 in the morning. Grinding up, light volume grind up. Smack down here at 9:45. A lot of chop actually. That Monday. 3:45, the big pop at the end of the day there. All right. Well, that's it. I mean, I'm not that impressed with the markets over the past week. Did point out some interesting levels and some interesting trades, but I've seen better trades and better opportunities in the markets, and you know what? I'm not feeling that bad of not missing too much here. There's a nice little pullback here. Trends have been nice, though. They had some nice moves. I mean, the overnight move here, if you happen to catch it the right way here, these are not bad moves. This one started off at 602, went up to almost 46.20 from 46.02. Well, let's zoom in here. And see where we are right now. I want to bring up my accounts and get ready for the overnight session here, and maybe we catch something. It's still pretty early, 6:43. It looks like the market here coming into a giving us some good opportunities Friday. Even that sell-off came in really strong at the end of the day. So this is where we are right now, as you can see. No, we're in no man's land. Kind of hanging up here around that 76 level. Got a little bounce, flat line. We need some range. We need a channel. We need something to happen. This is, very just flatness. But I want to get this out. I just wanted to update you. Maybe we would see something more interesting, but not that great on this past week here. But tomorrow we start a whole fresh new week. I'm looking forward to getting in here early, and I'll be here a little bit later tonight, probably to about 10, 11 o'clock. So if there's any setups and you happen to be online here, we're going to take them. All right, so that's it. A little update for you on the S&P and some of the super signals that will be going out again. For those out there, sign up for the super signals and stuff. Again, I was away, and we'll be picking those up again starting tonight if we do see any. All right, signing off. I'll catch you in the morning.